This Sunday evening, we begin a new sermon series. And in the last two series, we have been in the New Testament. We had a series on Corinthians, and then we had three series actually, Corinthians, and then we had a series on the book of Philippians, and the last series concluded on the book of 1 Timothy. And so this time we are going into the Old Testament, and you will be encouraged that we have the opportunity now to study the life of Abraham from Genesis chapter 12 to chapter 22. And the series is called Life Lessons from Abraham, the father of the faithful. There's so much of rich lessons to learn from the life of this man that God called back so many thousand years ago. But as we think about this sermon series that begins today, and Reverend Leslie will be preaching to us from chapter 12 of Genesis, I want to remind us that this is not simply so that we can have a series of sermons. The sermon series are intended to encourage us to go into the word ourselves, to become excited about learning God's word at this critical time when the coming of Jesus is very near. So I want to encourage you to take these passages, chapter 12 to 22, and to begin to read them in your own quiet time. Prepare yourself as you come, and there will be questions that you will have in your heart as you come to learn about what God is saying and how we can practice the things that we learn from the life of Abraham. I believe that there is now the intensification of the birth pangs of the coming of Jesus Christ. He said that that his second coming will be marked by many things happening in the world. And we can see an intensification of all the things that Jesus talked about. And so we are to be ready, a people prepared in heart and mind for the coming of Jesus. And what better way than to get to know God's word and to begin to live by that word. So I want to encourage you to think about the questions that will now come up on the screen. These questions will come again later on before Reverend Leslie preaches to us from chapter 12. Three questions. Which parts of Genesis 12 which parts of Genesis 12:1 would you find most and least difficult to follow, and why? Is God leading you to step out of your comfort zone and seek to be a blessing to others? If so, to who and how? What do you think about Abram lying to safeguard his own life from Pharaoh and putting his wife's life in danger? Do we act similarly sometimes? Why? Let these questions be on your mind as we read and meditate on Genesis chapter 12. And now Minoli is going to lead us into our time of worship together and our time of praising God and thanking God and dedicating ourselves to God.